up guys, it's your boy Duxas back again with another video, and today we're doing a video called There's a major problem in Fortnite, right? And that problem is probably what everyone's really complaining about, is the material system in Fortnite. So before we get into this current meta of materials, let's go back before they nerfed materials and wood was at the strongest and llamas were nerfed and everything was all jolly. We were happy to crack a llama and get a little 500 sweet mats, right? Alright, so back before materials were nerfed, wood was the most dominant material, right? The reason for that being is because wood, when you built it, it'll have the most starting HP out of all the materials. So what I mean by that, I think wood started with 110 as soon as you built it. Brick started with like 80, and I think steel started with 80. I don't know, but wood started with like 20 or 30 more health than brick or steel. So the reason why this was so overpowered is because people couldn't really destroy wood as fast as they can destroy brick and steel, right? So here was the problem with wood and why it was nerfed. From what I see, wood was way too overpowered, right? Why should a resource that is so readily available everywhere that you can farm up really fast be the strongest in the game, right? When you have brick in real life should be more sturdier than like wood, and then steel in real life should be IRL, should be more sturdier than brick or wood, right? They should just have more durability. Like it didn't make sense. Why should wood be stronger than steel? I mean, after you built all the materials and they finished building, of course like the brick would be stronger and then steel would be stronger. But initially when people are shooting you, that didn't matter, right? So here was the issue, that brick and steel were too subpar to wood, right? And another issue is now, right? Another like dilemma was that you can get these materials so readily. You can get wood so readily, right? So brick and wood, no one really wanted to farm brick and God, I can't talk. No one really to farm brick and steel anymore, right? Because wood was just the dominant material. When you wanted to build up like walls and mountains, you switch to your poo-poo materials, which is the ones you wouldn't want to use in a build fight, which are brick and steel, right? So I agree that they fixed the problem now, right? Is where wood now has the less HP, right? And brick has more HP, and then steel has more HP than both of them. I think that makes much more sense because you should be farming. This encourages farming of other materials instead of just having wood to be dominant, right? The same thing as like shotguns, how like, oh, people just best like combo in the game with double pump. The same thing essentially. Everyone wants to do the strongest thing, right? So now in the game, wood starts as 90, right? Brick starts at 90. I think steel starts at like 100. I'm not too sure, but they all start a little higher than wood now, which is perfectly, that's where it should be. So now it's gonna encourage for people to farm for brick and farm for steel, right? But now here comes the problem with the meta right now with building. Honestly, they nerf building so hard, right, that it's pretty discouraging to players, right? To good players who want to like, you know, play the game now. It's like, by nerfing materials, you nerf a play style, right? They nerf like how many materials you can gather, like basically your material gathering, right? So like how I'm saying, like used to, like when you used to find like wood out of chests and stuff, it used to drop 30, now it drops 20, things like that. So what happened now is, right, from finding less materials and having to farm more, you just end up with less materials in general, and this is nerfing the players' play style. This is actually indirectly nerfing players' play style, because a lot of players, like such as myself, I have an aggressive play style. I love to build and I love to like outplay people, and now I can't do that as much as I wanted to, just because I have to watch myself. I have to pace my materials now, which isn't a bad thing, which is more like pro play, but this isn't pro play. Pacing materials is very important. The thing is, you have to do it so often and you're just playing like a game for fun, and it's like, oh man, it feels like a chore, like pacing your materials. Like when people shoot you, your structures die pretty fast now just because the building health nerfs, right? So like if you have less mats and your buildings get destroyed more, you have to be more defensive and play more smarter, if that makes sense. Like that's a playstyle like Epic Games is inducing, right, or encouraging in this gamer meta, right? They're encouraging that you don't really have to build. You just got to build a little bit and shoot down people's structures and shoot them through their walls and whatever. And for me, I like to get up in there. I love to build. I love to outplay. Now, I can't do that. If I'm someone sitting across the map from me, right, or a little fair distance away from me, I can't push them up with confidence saying, oh, I'm gonna have enough mats at the end of this game, at the end of this fight, to push and build battle them, because they're sitting still saving their mats while I'm pushing them, while I'm using my mats. They're saving their mats, right? And they might hit me through the walls with their guns. So I'm like in a super big disadvantage, and I have to change my playstyle because Epic discourages building into this game, right? Alright, so another problem is what I found in this game, right? Resources is basically, you look at my screen right now, it's 600, 200, 100, right? So this is kind of ideal because wood is more available than brick, and brick is more available than steel, right? This is just because I killed 6 guys and I just have a lot of materials off of them. But generally, when you're farming on the map, you don't find brick, you don't find steel. Right? There's no brick or steel being found in this game. It's only wood. Like DBot, it has all like trees and everything. The only places that really have steel is Junk Junction and like the Shipment Crate Yard kinda ish, and a place in Paradise Palms is kind of similar to Junk Junction. Oh, and Flush Factory has steel, but like other than that, you don't really find steel anywhere. I mean, DBot barely has steel, but you're gonna get like 30 pieces of steel from DBot, and what is that gonna do? That's gonna do nothing, right? You can't even build like a 1x1 with 30 pieces of steel. It's just that brick and steel are not, they're just not abundant to farm in this game. You rarely find it. Look how much wood I have compared to brick and steel. It should be a little more proportional, or it should be like 4 to 2 to like 1 ratio, or 3:2 to 1 ratio, right? Like 300 wood, 200 brick, 100 steel. That would make more sense. So maybe what Epic can do is they could, like, I don't know, make it easier to farm mats like wood and steel, right? Because honestly, when you hit a brick in this game, I'm gonna let you know, when you find a brick, there's a super big brick by Tilted Towers, right? By the river, right next to Lou Lake, like in a little alleyway, by the valley actually. There's a really big brick there. You hit it and you get 50. The biggest brick in the game, besides like the Tiki Heads who give you 100, which are like only like 6 or 7 of them on the map. Biggest brick in the game gives you like 50 brick, bro. 50 materials off of it. I'm like, what is that? What is 50 materials gonna do in this game, right? When people, it takes like 2 shots, 2 axe hits to break a wall. It's not gonna do anything. So you're better off just slapping and farming wood, bro. Because even though brick and steel are more powerful than wood, you don't even get them in the game, right? You don't get brick or steel in the game. It really doesn't, right? You just don't get it. And look at this. I had like 999 mats not too long ago. Look, my all my wood is gone, bro. And now I'm left with brick and steel, which I barely have anything of. I worked hard for my mats, right? I just blew them off in like 2 seconds, right? Like, you spend this whole game farming, like a lot of the game farming and stuff, unless you get like high kills. A lot of people don't, right? Because they just play the game casually or whatever. Like, unless you spend like a lot of time farming, you're not gonna get the materials you want, right? Because I've been in a lot of circumstances where I'm fighting people, like let's say, I guess, people who are not as good as me. I don't want to say bad players in Fortnite, right? There's all kinds of players in the game who have, you know, high skill caps, low skill caps. But anyway, when you kill people, like I'm pretty sure everyone's been in a situation when you kill people, it's like you kill someone who's not as good as the game, but you have to expend so much materials just to kill them because they're playing defensive or they're running away. You need like just to go, and you just want to go and kill them, and then you end up killing them and they just don't have no mats, right? And then someone comes up, runs up on you again after you just got out of a fight, and you know you just ran out of mats and you just died to it, right? There's like no reward, or you kill them again and you completely get no mats, and then for the rest of the game, it's probably late in the game by then, you're like looking for mats now, and the circle is constantly moving, and you're finding people, and the people are building up one by one, and you have nothing to protect yourself, and they're shooting you, so you have to use natural cover and stuff to defend yourself, right? So the problem there, what I see is like, when you kill people, you're not really rewarded in the game. You shouldn't be rewarded, but there should be a way to get mats faster in the game, right? Maybe you should be able to get more pieces of brick and steel when you hit, you know, objects that give you brick and steel that are not readily available in the game. Like, you really don't find brick or steel objects like that in the game. You just don't find it at all, right? You just, like, you walk around, you're probably gonna find 5% out of all the materials, out of all like the materials on the map, like all the houses and stuff. Is probably like 10% steel, right? 60-70% wood, and like 20% brick. And it's like, there's something wrong with that. Why is wood so dominating? I understand wood is like naturally like easier to get than brick and steel, but it shouldn't be to the point where you end up with no brick or steel at the end of the game and just have like 900 wood, 100 brick, 50 steel. It shouldn't be like that. So what I think Epic should do is incorporate, they should put more bricks and steels into the game, more trucks or wherever randomly and stuff like that, or something like that. Or or even if you hit a steel item or brick object, right, you just get more bang for your buck, right? So I know Tiki's give 100 steel, right? I'm 100 brick, but it's like there's only 7 of them on the map. So how about you put in more brick, or just when you actually hit a brick, you actually get like 50 for like a little stone, right? Because the trees give you so much wood. Like, you hit a big tree, you get like, I think 50. Hit a little tree, you get like 30. You hit a goddamn fence, you get like 15 wood. But you hit like a stone, you get like 12 stone. Like, it doesn't make sense, man. It really doesn't. Like, it's insane. Like, honestly, it's the system. They need to fix the system about, I don't believe they can put in like a little reward system to the game, which would be a cool idea. But maybe that could be, if they put in rank, like it could be like a cool little reward system. If you kill someone, you get like extra 50 wood, you get like 15 health, 25 health, something like that, like a reward system. But I don't think that's gonna fly. What I do think Epic should do to fix this problem, right, of the system being rewarded in this game, is buff farming. Farming is not good in this game anymore. Like, you spend way too long in the game farm, and then you hardly run into people, because a lot of people like to camp and hide in this game. You're not always gonna find players who want to like build battle you. You don't find that. Like, a lot of times in solo games, right, the last person standing is someone who doesn't have any kills, 0 kills, no mats. It's just because that's just how players are. They want to win the game. A lot of players like me, we want to have fun and play the game. We can't play the game to our full potential, because the number one way to win the game, right, the funnest thing to do in the game is building, right? And that's essentially like one of the strongest weapon in this game is building. That's essentially it, right? And if you nerf the strongest weapon in the game that makes the game so fun, you're gonna start losing players, Epic, right? You keep gonna go down this path, you're gonna start losing players. So my suggestion to you is just buff farming. Like, make brick and steel more readily available if you just want to keep nerfing it, or just make farming more rewarding and make it more quicker, you know, so players can get around the map and find other people faster. But I don't want to spend like half my game killing trees, chopping trees, and then somehow some kid with like a soft shotgun just runs up and just destroys me just for no goddamn reason, right? It's just a food for thought, Epic. So, you know, it's a little problem with this game in my opinion. And you know what, guys? I think I'm done ranting. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's your boy Duck Sauce, and I'm out. Peace.